Sorry, this is part two to what I was saying. I was saying, okay, so the reason these telepathy weapons are in existence. That's what I was saying. And I was saying, the voices in my head are taking advantage of the situation, of it being held confidential and all these contracts and, what the consequences would be if anyone were to breach. So, they have come they are very, the terrorists are very versed in how to manipulate them, and frame people. And they're obviously serial killers, is what it is. It is what it is. They're terrorists and they're serial killers. They're committing genocide. So they're well versed in covering up their their murders and framing people for it and defaming people and collecting money for it, and then, gaining, and then running around trying to take credit for, bringing forward these criminals. Like, this is, I don't even know what to say, because then I start to sound like I'm supporting crime when I'm not. But then again, it's like these terrorists are talking in my head. And so what I was saying is, so they go celebrate because these trash cans, once they can't hack into somebody's head, they can't block it, they don't know how to access the records, so they're manipulating them. And that is because they have to ask for permissions to use them. And so they'll walk around, have a squeaky clean record, okay? They know everybody's business. They know where everything is. They know what people are spending, where they're putting their money, how much they're bringing, because they're trafficking them. So, of course, like, why wouldn't these trash cans be at the right place at the right time, always looking like a hero? They're terrorists. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists in particular, because now that the government is like, okay, we're honing in on these terrorists, I want them all sentenced to death, women included, I don't care. And they need to find out if they have children, where exactly, what's going to happen to them. Like, they have to make their arrangements, and or life sentences. And so the women in particular are losing their minds. And like I said, they're very comfortable, because they're like, oh, either I'm going to die or Renee's going to die. Fuck Renee. Like, and they're just talking in my head, and they sound super comfortable. And it's obvious it is not the first time. It took me 6 years, okay, to officially understand the what has been going on, like the games that they play, the reason that they're doing this, how it all came about, why. It took me a long time. So, and the entire time, I mean, the first 3 years, they had me. They really had me. And then the 2 years after that, it was like, okay, I kind of had a little more self-control. I knew what it was, I knew what was going on. I wasn't blaming my neighbors. I wasn't, but I was still avoiding medical attention. So they still had me. And then come the 5th year, and I was just like, my daughter was like, Mom, you're schizophrenic. And I just went to the doctor. And mind you, there are statutes of limitations. So they start to rid the system of all what the terrorist trash cans do, right, is they'll run around and they'll start ordering documents, like your criminal activity or whatever they need to use in your case, to argue that you're the criminal, or you're this or you're that, or there are reasons whatever they're saying about you. So they'll run around before these statutes of limitations kick in, and all of these records get destroyed. So, with that said, with the medical records, it's like they want you to avoid anything medical, because there are statutes pertaining to them. And in 7 years, all of that gets destroyed. So I'm like, okay, I have to continue to make it clear that I'm hearing voices in my head, seek medical attention, constantly, so that the records, so that if they go to destroy them, if they're building on each other, for example, like if I have diabetes, then they won't destroy the records. But if, it's like, okay, Renee's hair fell out, for example, right? Then in 7 years, they'll destroy those records. So I have to keep going to the doctor and saying, my hair keeps falling out. My hair keeps falling out. And in which it does. Okay, look at this. That's all while sitting here. They do this while I'm in my sleep. All of this is an injury to my skin. My skin is a major organ. They do not want me discussing that I hear them in my head. They're hiding in houses behind computers. These are not normal weapons. They are satellites or some type of, it has to be a satellite of some sort, that basically, or a few that have the ability to basically read all algorithms, and then based on its its specific algorithm. So my algorithm is different than my daughter's, and I have a base algorithm. So it serial codes each and every thing in existence. So it scans the planet and it codes you, and it can track and trace you. It can control you. We're talking about, they can basically take two planets in space and crash them into each other and make them explode. Like that is how strong these technologies are becoming. And these terrorists are using them on people. Okay. So of course someone can easily collapse if someone's using these technologies on them. They just keep saying, we're going to hurt you. We're going to hurt your daughter. Keep saying it. Your daughter's going to lose her fucking hair, you stupid bitch. These terrorists are talking in my head. They're causing me injuries, and I want them sentenced to death. And I'm going to continue to make it clear, seeking medical attention, going to my psychiatrist to try every medication possible, combinations of, just to make it very clear that these are terrorists talking in my head. That's why they're not stopping. And it's obvious that they have to disclose what they're doing. And that must be why they're still talking, and there's money involved, and they don't want anyone else taking claims to the money that they've made. It sounds like they're watching something that's like up for grabs to an extent, like they're babysitting it. And as long as they're babysitting it, they have to discuss what they're doing to do that, to keep hold of whatever it is that they're making these, they're protecting. So they're like, I don't know them. I don't owe them money. So I just want to make that clear. This is like way beyond my scope. I don't know how they traffic the money. I don't know where they are trafficking it. I don't know who they're using to traffic it. All I know is that I hear them say people's names. I hear them say, it's weird. The things that they say, the things that they do, they can change my face dramatically to look like someone else. If I were to, let's say they wanted to send a message to someone like, hey, I'm talking to so-and-so. And then I go make a video because my appearance changed so drastically. Okay, look at my appearance. But what they're really trying to do is send another terrorist group a message saying, this is the person that I trafficked whatever to, or that I need you to do whatever with. It's like the technology is it's out of this world insane. I know I start to sound crazy, but the crazier the better. I want people to understand this is how eventually, when all of this starts to come out, God willing, they keep these records, YouTube, and one day they start to present it to the public okay, see, Renee was ahead of her time, you guys. While you thought she was crazy, she wasn't at all. So these are all true, and hopefully in our lifetime, because I really want to watch these terrorists get sentenced to death. Um, so before I die, but nonetheless, I'm on my end of the spectrum. I am making it very clear. They're like, oh, ha, stupid bitch, you collected money, you did this, you did that, and we made you, like, we played with your head so hard back in 2022 that you forgot to file your taxes. Now you owe 10 grand, stupid bitch. How do you plan on paying it? After they've ruined transaction after transaction, while I was working my real estate. I mean, like, not ruin them, but it was like people would just like not want to do it, and it didn't even make sense why they were in foreclosure. The lender's gonna take their home, and I'm just like, dude, I got the best deal. I'm like, you're not gonna, like, to find an investor to do what I was gonna do would have been impossible. I mean, I don't know if they would have even found. It sounds to me like they actually settled to lose their homes, and I'm sitting there like baffled, like it doesn't make sense. Things that are going on don't make sense. I'm like, okay, so they've done that over and over again, and of course I'm gonna get compensated. It's not like I'm not gonna get compensated or lie that I'm getting compensated for it. What am I doing it for? Uh, so it didn't add up. Like I wasn't like, and I'm not a gouger. It's a reasonable amount, and so, but nonetheless, for transaction after transaction like that to happen, and it's obvious the terrorists in my head they're doing something to these people's heads, because like all of a sudden, like, it's like, and I know I have one of the best investors, dude, that will do loans that some won't do, and he will negotiate, and he will work with people, like one of the sweetest investors. And for these people to just turn around, I'm like, wow, this is like insane. Um, so for it to happen over and over and over again, and I'm like, okay, and then they're like, you owe fucking money, you stupid bitch. Like I told you, like they want to hang something over my head so I don't discuss them, and I promise to God it's not going to happen. They're trying to get me in a car accident. They've tried to destroy my vehicle every so often. They want to, like, have me spending $100 here, $100 there, $200 here, just to see if they could drain me of my money. So that way, I'm begging them to stop, and in which case, because they want to clear these records. I'm done talking. I want them sentenced to death. It's murder. I want them in caskets. I don't give a shit. If they continue to talk, I'm going to continue to make it clear, and that's that. And right now he's like, okay, you fucking bitch. Like they're talking in my head. So it's like they know what the repercussions are, and the more he says, okay, you fucking bitch, I'm going to show you, the more excited I am for what his repercussions are going to be, because I already know the type of human being I am. And once the government finally can reach an agreement on the use of these telepathy weapons among all the nations and countries that are using them, to say, okay, we've met all of your needs, everything that you've asked of us. Now we want to bring these terrorists forward, and we have clear evidence. Renee, I'm one of them. My records are going to be super clean. We want to bring it forward, and we want to take in these terrorists. What was I saying? Because they're playing with my head. Oh yeah. The repercussions. They're going to be. This is like these people are going to go back to their countries, and they're going to explain it, and whatever happens in their countries and who it gets leaked to, what happens to them there is really nobody's problem. They're not going to be allowed in our country, and if they are, they're serving life sentences, and if not that, they're going to be investigated using this telepathy technology, meaning not investigated. I'm sorry. They're going to be watched using this telepathy technology. It's basically a life sentence for as long as they live, but that all has to come forward, because they want to make sure that everyone that's working with them knows who they were and what they were doing. Kind of like how, just like how they framed and abused people, and then they have to come out after years after prison, right? And they were actually being trafficked, and have to clean up their reputation and their life. So it's as if the government wants to come forward, so that way you have the right to refuse to work with them. And they want to make it very clear, like, okay, these are really dangerous people, so they can see if these trash cans, because they're claiming to be intellects, okay, can really fend for themselves once the whole world is well aware of all the crimes they've committed, and the to the extent of the the damages done. So yeah, now I think I've discussed even more so today what's been going on, and every day I'm gonna be discussing more and more what's going on, like, trying to cover different topics, see if I can cover as much of what's I've been hearing in my head as possible, and what's been going on with me, and all the injuries that I'm enduring, how it's affecting my kids. My daughter is now seeing a tutor. So that's for another video. As a matter of fact, that's my next video. And then I also want to discuss how I am trying to lose weight and in the gym every day. And how I've taken phentermine, yada, yada, yada. So all this is, I'm going to be making video after video, and there's nothing at all that I'm not going to be disclosing on social media or to medical professionals. And yeah, I mean, everything that I say, I, everything that's going on, I'm gonna outwardly be open about, and I don't care how crazy I sound, or how people, like, what their reactions are to what I have to say. Just I don't care anymore. So anyways, hopefully, you'll keep tuning in if you have, and you'll get to know more of what's going on in my life.